Hello and welcome to Pushing Back, Ukraine Daily Brief. As the war enters its 782nd day, these are the main developments from the past 24 hours. Russia has lost approximately 455,340 troops in Ukraine since the beginning of the war, the General Staff of Ukraine's armed forces reported. The number, which has not been independently verified, includes 920 casualties over the past day. According to the released Ukrainian figures, Russia lost 9 tanks, 13 armored combat vehicles, 16 artillery systems, 1 air defense systems, 11 drones, 53 vehicles. The update from the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. There were 87 combat engagements. The enemy launched a total of 15 missile and 18 air strikes, carried out 29 multiple launch rocket system attacks on positions of Ukrainian troops and various settlements. The Ukrainian Air Force launched air strikes on 2 concentration of troops and 1 command post of the occupiers. The Ukrainian missile forces hit 1 artillery system, 3 concentrations of troops and 4 drone control posts of the Russian invaders. In its latest intelligence update, the UK's Ministry of Defence reports Russia is actively trying to recruit foreign fighters for the war in Ukraine. They are advertising high salaries, signing bonuses, and other benefits to entice people to join. These recruits are likely not professional soldiers, but rather migrant workers who may be pressured or misled. Despite the recruitment efforts, the number of foreign fighters is probably low. Russia is likely doing this to avoid an unpopular draft among its own citizens and to replace the high number of soldiers they've lost in the war. It also reported the Ukrainian military struck a drone factory deep inside Russia, hundreds of miles from the border. This factory produced Iranian drones used against Ukraine. This highlights Ukraine's growing ability to hit targets within Russia and Russia's struggle to defend them. The leader of Tatarstan, where the attack occurred, expressed concern about future attacks, suggesting Russia might prioritize frontline fighting over protecting civilian-staffed facilities. In its latest intelligence update, the Institute for the Study of War. Ukrainian officials continue to warn that U.S. security assistance is vital to Ukrainian forces' ability to defend against current and future Russian offensive operations forecasted to begin in late spring and summer. A senior Estonian military official described intensified Russian offensive frontline operations and deep rear area strike campaigns as intended to degrade both Ukraine's will to fight and Western unity. Russian forces continue to adapt their drone tactics along the front line as part of an offense-defense arms race to mitigate Ukrainian technological adaptations to offset Russian material advantages along the front line. Russian officials doubled down on efforts to amplify Iran's justification for the April 13 large-scale Iranian strikes against Israel that falsely equates them with an April 1 Israeli strike targeting Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps officials in Damascus. A Russian insider source claimed that Russian officials are preparing to redeploy some former Wagner Group elements serving in Africa Corps to Belgorod Oblast. Crimean Occupation Administration head Sergei Aksyonov passed a decree restricting migrant labor in occupied Crimea, undermining the Kremlin's effort to mitigate labor shortages. Russian state media seized on Georgian protests against a proposed law similar to Russia's foreign agent law, likely as part of Kremlin efforts to amplify political discord in Georgia. Russian prosecution rates of men who had fled compulsory military service have reportedly increased since fall 2022. Russian forces recently made confirmed advances near Siversk, northeast of Bakhmut, Avdiivka, and west of Donetsk city. In Zelensky's nightly video he covered several points. Firstly, the military situation is most severe around Chasiv Yar, Pokrovsk and Kupiansk. Secondly, there were discussions about protecting critical infrastructure, especially in the energy sector, from electronic warfare attacks. Reports suggest Russia will intensify attacks in spring and summer. Ukraine is preparing to retaliate. Thirdly, air defense systems and weapons remain the top priority. He was encouraged by the recent Allied action against missiles in the Middle East and wants similar support. Lastly, a bilateral security agreement is being finalized and there will be more cooperation on defense, especially air defense. Ukraine's First Lady, Alina Zelenska, was in Denmark, attended the Ukraine Investment Forum in Copenhagen. The forum aimed to connect Ukrainian businesses with Danish companies for investment and cooperation. Zelenska thanked Denmark for their strong support of Ukraine, both militarily and financially. She highlighted Denmark's role in rebuilding Mykolaiv and appreciated Danish companies leaving the Russian market. Over 100 Danish companies participated in the forum, looking for opportunities to invest in Ukraine's reconstruction. Thanks for following today's updates. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. We'll return tomorrow with the latest news on the ongoing conflict.